shall not mourn till war is done. I shall not weep while blood still runs. I'll hold my
Sighting a stocky paladin seated ahead, Ifan tugs at your sleeve.
This one I remember. Hardwin and I served together back in the war. Let me do the talking.
The two men embrace, amicably enough, but you sense an uneasy tension running beneath their smiles.
Well, as I live and scarcely breathe. If it isn't, I thought you died in the death fog. Thought you died a hero.
This one I remember.
But I suppose it's better to live as one. We really gave those Black Ring what for, eh? Wiped them all out in the blink of an eye. Damned proud to have served with you, Ben Mesder.
Ifan's face turns sour as he mutters something under his breath that only the paladin can hear. Hardwin loses all camaraderie.
You've changed. And for the worse. I'll not have the sacrifices of my fallen brothers maligned to my face. You survived, Ben Mesder.
As you're about to address the paladin, the Red Prince interrupts and asks him if he's seen a lizard matching Brahmas's description. The paladin says that indeed he did, but that Brahmas left in a hurry when a band of rather intimidating one of the scouts saw him heading south in the direction of the graveyard. That's all he knows.
Right. I have the information I came.
He looks up from his map.
Who are you, and who sent you?
He appraises you with a look. Then,
I think I've heard about you. Didn't you free the Meister from the gallows in Driftwood? Then I may well have a job for you, if you're interested.
He taps a finger on the map on the table.
Here, in the Black Pits, are White Magisters. Their operation is shrouded in mystery, and this pricks our ears. We are gravely... We suspect that Dallas herself and her master... How much do you want? I have fewer paladins to pay, so I have ready gold. You think very highly of yourself indeed.
He opens a pouch and shows you the contents. It's certainly an unreasonable...
Take it or leave it. Excellent.
He offers you an item. A whistle-like device sits nestled in your hand.
When you're ready, send a war owl. Be careful out there. It's a dangerous place these days. And I'd like to think I'll hear from you again. And
He looks you in the eye.
Don't get caught.
I shall not mourn till war is done. I shall not weep while blood still runs. I'll hold my tears when weeping comes. Who shall avenge you, darling one?
A weary paladin strips equipment from the bodies of...
Oh, pity you just arrived. We could have used adventurers like you in that. We're short-handed. Deserters, if you can believe that. Abandoned their post and wandered off into the wastelands. Left their friends here to die. Shit.
He grabs you by the shoulder and forces you to look at the bodies at his feet.
See that, adventurer? That's Lord Godfrey and Guy Falchild. You are loyal or you aren't. And if you aren't, then people die. Friend...
The spirit mouths the words to a mourning song. If you listen carefully,
I shall not mourn till war is done. I shall not weep while blood still runs.
softly you sing, "I'll hold my tears when weeping comes." She registers your presence and gives you the sweetest...
And I'll avenge my darling one.
She turns back to her fallen self once more, her eyes glistening.
I shall not mourn till war is done.
Careful now. That's a trap.
I'll hold my tears when weeping comes. Shall avenge you, darling one.
This place mightn't be as safe as it looks.
Before you, a statue. As you step closer to the statue, you feel the... The squirrel's cheeks are so distended with acorns, its mouth is...
Too skinny, Aoife said.
As the squirrel speaks, one fat acorn plops out of its mouth and rolls onto the ground between you. The squirrel's eyes go wide as its mouth.
Get your...
The squirrel grasps the acorn in its tiny paws and scuttles...
What's this? I found something.
Oh, friend, what have you become? How long has it been?
Gareth looks to the limp body, but it continues to...
Perhaps you are right. Perhaps not. Give me time. Let me think. Please, I need to think and to pray. I need time.
What's wrong with that bird?
Oh, I'd give up my wings for a respite from this pestilence. Dying. Isn't that plain to see, you clod? I am a prize trophy bird. I was bought by some farmer to act as a rooster for his... Now here I am, riddled with pox and with nothing but a harem of rotting fowl for company. I doubt anything can remedy how terrible I feel.
The bird ruffles its patchy coat of feathers.
You're no healer. How dare you suggest such a thing? Besides, I'm far too valuable a trophy animal to just be put down.
The bird's head droops miserably.
Oh, all right.
A scrawny, unwell-looking bird.
Is it dead? An egg. A phoenix egg.
The egg is warm to the touch, but not from the ashes. This warmth comes from deep within the egg. The egg is smooth and glossy dark, like some rare volcanic mineral. From deep within its core, a
Delicacy fit for an emperor. Eat it.
This egg was born of fire itself. It's earned its place.
Fine bragging rights to be able to say you've... A precious find indeed. I shall preserve it. After all, its taste would be wasted.
gods, you're ugly. You turn milk green and a magister's red coat black. Why, the magisters with the red coats chased...
Smells of lavender and charred flesh. It's almost homely. Almost. Is that her eye? Did she pluck out her own eye? Rubbish.
I shall not mourn till war is done. I shall not weep while blood still runs. I'll hold my tears when weeping comes. Who shall avenge you, darling one? I shall not weep while blood still runs. I'll hold my tears when weeping comes. Who shall avenge you, darling one?
They beat all those Voidwoken. I'm impressed.
The dead here stir. I hear their whispers. Let's see what spirits haunt this garden.
The lizard hums tunelessly, not a melody exactly, but more of a meandering moan.
10 spans under, humans slept. 10 spans up, the dwarves were kept. Lizards burned in light.
She looks to your left with one eye, and to your...
It helps me remember whether sometimes they don't stay where I put them. That's okay.
She smiles at you with the innocence...
Keeping watch.
She returns to her humming. She flinches as you move close.
No, no touching.
Her humming fades. The eerie silence lasts for several seconds.
Riker might get mad. He doesn't like it when someone touches his things.
She shivers and whispers.
Powerful sorcerer. Lives here, right in the garden. He can take the you from you. No break.
She points at her head.
The servants. They got nothing up there. Riker has it all now. They need to be freed. Only way. Kill Riker. The servants. So lost. Chained by Sorcerer Riker.
The ensuing silence lasts for several seconds, until she picks up the melody once again and turns away.
life, we are Earth's caretakers. In death, we are the skies.
The eagle glowers at you with one baleful eye, keeping the other eye firmly trained on the stringy morsels of rotting
Picked up by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
You watch yourself. There's a voice. Word is that they'll be walking about with flesh on their bones again if they send you to the Hall of Echoes.
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked up by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
We are an inspiration to our people.
We're an example.
You're God-woken, ain't you? Don't ask me why.
The spirit is dressed in tattered ceremonial garb. Eagle feathers tang.
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked up by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
We are an inspiration to our people.
We're an example.
Watching the birds pick your body clean is almost soothing. And it means that elf ain't getting his claws on my corpse. Not mine specifically, but he creeps from grave.
A grim expression passes across her face.
The dead don't rest easy in this garden. Not by half. He lives in the big house by the gate. I ain't about to wander up and ask for a name, mind you. The less I see of him, the happier.
Two dwarven spirits at loggerheads.
I recognise the lass. The royal guard had come to Bon Neffen, right on the sea. The poor, they were...
In a flash, you are both of them, brother and sister. Your feminine side is a rebel, rising up against the tyrannical queen. Your masculine side is as the brother, you rescue your sister from the pikes of the royal guard. Together, you flee across the sea to the melting...
Yeah, we're all curious from time to time.
You are the sister, and you know that something is wrong. You climb the stairs to rescue your brother, and find him. Both of you die.
Damn it. Damn it all to hell. Just kids, both of them.
But your killers do right by their fellow dwarves, and bring you here to lay you to rest. As spirits, you fight for eternity. One convinced that
I want to say something trite, like, can't they just get along?
The sister smiles. She feels vindicated. Her brother still does not agree. The sister has found peace with what was...
We died glorious.
Locked in perpetual prayer. Keep trying, my friend.
The spirit of a poacher stands before you. He begs for mercy, but not from you.
Please, Master Riker. It was a mistake. I'd never have killed that deer, not if I knew who it belonged to.
showed them. Yes, we did. We showed them how to die. Do not sing that song for me. The fight is not. We'll win this war yet, brother.
By Lucian's sword, we meet again. Would that circumstances were better here than in Fort Joy.
The dog growls and bares its teeth at you in a wide, unsettling grin. You swear you see a worm emerge from its...
Come closer! I dare you!
He sniffs. He snarls.
I am death. There's no defying me.
The dog's growls intensify and transform into a rhythmic rasp that mimics laughter. You
do not mock me. You know what lies beneath. But I will not allow you another step closer, human. Can has already laid claim. Ha! She calls herself master. I call her minion.
The dog raises its head to the stormy sky and howls. The earth beneath you vibrates. A dirt...
Necrotic troll. You are summoned. Crawl through the gate. The earth...
I'm ready. Glory is mine. Cornered. Glory is mine.
Let's hope none are earmarked for me.
Come on, mistress. Hear me. He...
Zimski mutters to himself as he traces sigils in the dirt.
Heads or tails?
He flips the coin high in the air. It twinkles beneath the moonlight as it spins down.
Unlucky. But then what do I know about... All my life I served Lady Luck and see how it ends.
Turning from you, he crouches back to the dirt.
Her signs to call her. Oh, Lady Luck always came when I called. For 30 years we roamed Riverlon together. Now I cannot influence even a coin toss. But you breathe. I'll wager you've more use for my gifts than I do. Here, tell me what you truly value. If my lady sees fit, I'll give you what I truly value in return.
And what difference do you discern between...
He smiles a foxy smile. He begins to trace sigils on your flesh. Though you cannot feel his fingers upon your skin, something inside you shifts. He croons incantations as he works, and his voice is like the throwing of 1,000 dice inside your brain.
Now you feel her touch. Now, Lady Lux...
She hums quietly. The notes move in rhythm with her wandering eye. The dog spirit rolls his head around, gawking at the ground and sky as if he'd never seen them.
I am death. Yes, the masses tremble.
He moves to lick his haunches and seems taken aback.
Once a demon, now a weapon. We heard its call.
The canine spirit lifts his head to howl.
There's no body here. Only a pile of rocks.
Here lies Victor Flynn. A life story cut short here.
Faked his own death, did he? That's one way to avoid debtor's prison. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
If graves you dig, I'll warn you now. Beware the creak and then the click. Then comes the bang, then comes the bang! Close your eyes, and
the spirit's memories play out before you in darkest black. The sound alone relates the tale. A self-styled archaeologist, some would call you a grave robber, you found the grave of Baron Wilmart Hogg IV. Your footsteps crunch light upon the gravel as you approach the tomb. You know you ease your way up to the grave and run your hand around the lid, searching for a trap. You find nothing. The wind whispers in the click. Uh-oh, you think. Bang! The silence of the night is rent with a sound of screaming. You're screaming as you
Commiserations, he said. I knew the risk. I have only one regret. I didn't creak, click, bang!
Careful now. That's a trap.
What's this? I found something.
Sinner I, and who is not? This...
At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host. Hollow, detached. The spirit nods, and its face grows even more.
This spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
The bitter air warm. You are relieved.
What's this? I found something.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation scratches as its counterpart. The statue doesn't move, no matter how much force.
I've spotted something.
You there! Help me, please! Some thoughtless fool buried me in this grave to be left as fodder for the worms. The eternal fire burns in the lizard... I should have known.
These must be the remains of that lizard spirit, just as he said.
Vilnix Creever. Almost sounds like a lizard name. But here...
I found something.
The plinth of the statue bears... The statue rotates with little resistance. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns with... The statue rotates with little resistance. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns... She hums quietly.
It's hard not to feel some pride in... I watched an elf spend hours trying to fall... He did not leave.
You have done me a great service, friend.
Cause did this knight serve, I wonder? This part is gated off from the rest. Whoever is buried here must have been important.
Here rests the dwarven hero Bromley. She served Lucy and the Divine. Here rests the lizard hero Vidya. She served Lucy and the Divine with great dignity and vanquished the... Here rests the human hero Garrick. He served Lucian the Divine with
but it seems just as blank.
The spirit cannot speak, or perhaps... The servant responds with a blank look. As you reach to push open the heavy door, the coils and whirls of engraved wood dance into a new pattern. The semblance of a face...
Why are you here? Tell me, and mind that you tell me true.
Silence greets your answer. In the distance, you hear the screech of an eagle. Worryingly closer, you hear some kind...
Enter.
The face melts back into the wood of the door, and the world...
Looks like I found Riker's place. Here's hoping for a warm welcome.
The masked creature grunts 3 times at the sight of you. It reaches its arm out. Clasped in its hand is a crumpled parchment. You take the page, and the servant returns to its hollow
What's this? I found something.
Smart writing with a forgotten art. A visitor. Such a rare and exquisite pleasure, especially from one so...
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eye...
Call me Riker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely... It's not an ordinary location, I admit, but I prefer to be extraordinary. There is no pleasure in mediocrity. Don't you agree? Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. What you admit... I also see you are not yet whole.
He presses a slender forefinger against his tight lips and hums.
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek, if you offer something in return. A completely fair exchange between sorcerers. You must go to the Black Pits. There's a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet.
He points to the location on your map.
Bring it to me.
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel Amadia's presence. The episode passes. Riker is peering at you intently. He awaits your reply.
I would think that obvious, my good fellow. You're dying to show off those smoldering talents. I can help you with that. I can share my bond with the Source with you, fill your well to the brim, make you a master. The rest of the story, well, it's... Oh, but heading to the Black Pits would mean tangling with more magisters, and they're such a nuisance. It's a miracle of the ancients. Priceless. I won't bore you with further detail. Suffice it to say, it is safer in my hands than in theirs.
Riker's lips stretch and his cheeks bulge.
I'm a man of taste, as you no doubt see. A relic this significant would make a promise you'd best.
Riker bows his head.
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that... Now, please.
The salamander turns away from you with a hiss and a...
Cremation pyre. From fire to ash, from ember to flame.
The chest before you is wreathed in flame, but doesn't seem to be actually burning. The flames dance above the ancient pictogram. You lean in to examine the images further, but are driven back by the intense heat of the flames. The chest before you is covered in old ancient empire pictograms. You consider trying to find some lockpicks in your bag, but look, you hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice emerges. It hisses and clicks at you in the old tongue.
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames. This chest does not answer the questions of fools. Speak the words of Consul Zara or return me to the flames. This chest opens for the words of Consul Zara. This chest recognizes...
cremation pyre.
I'll find you.
From fire to ash, from ember to flame.
The chest before you, you lean in. The chest before you is wreathed in flame, but doesn't seem to be actually burning. The flames dance above the ancient pictograms depicting lizards and the ancient empire. You lean in to examine the chest before you. You hear a deep...
This chest recognizes Consort Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames. This chest...
As you approach, the salamander turns its head away. The salamander's tongue flickers, tasting you on the air. It turns towards you, letting out a long, low rumble, followed by the lizard takes a step towards you, and its chattering grows louder. You feel like it's trying to tell you something, but you've no idea what. The salamander's tongue flickers, tasting you on the air. The salamander's tongue flickers, tasting you on the... The lizard takes a step towards you.
The armor set is complete.
The chest before you is covered. You hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice emerges. It hisses and clicks. The chest responds with more hissing. It's a language, but you don't understand it. The chest before you is covered in old ancient empire pictograms. You hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice in...
This chest recognizes
The chest before you is... You hear...
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames. This chest does not answer. The words of Consul Zara are not inane babbling. Speak them or be silent.
The chest before you, you hear a...
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to... Consul's...
The chest before you, you hear a...
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames. Consul's... This chest recognizes...
The chest before you is... You hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice emerges. It hisses and clicks, but doesn't make any sense. The chest's chat... The chest before you... You hear a deep You hear a quiet... The chest before you is... You hear a... The chest's chat...
Ah! The armor set is complete.
The chest before you is... You hit the chest responds.
To see an elf.
Here lies David Craig. Here lies Jim. All shall lose the race with death.
I've spotted something.
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bit...
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much. Except, you know...
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Oh, but I don't just go around giving knowledge...
The skeleton pauses and sighs.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wit, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, it's easy. We link up souls and share our innermost belief. The loser, well... Battle is dangerous, is it not? I find it to be true anyway, even when you're battling your own mortality. Oh, how fun. Just touch this bone on my rib cage here.
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels different. Not until you try to pull your finger away and it remains glued.
All right, mister. Deep thought. First up, our purpose in life. I say it's to accumulate knowledge. Pretty great answer, eh? Can you do better than that?
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton's body from toe to head. Then...
Well, but... Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants. Is there such thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now. Oh, gods, I can hardly bear to. All right, I need to get a hold of myself.
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
One last query. Is there a difference between right and wrong? The truth is that there is not. Only action and consequence. Oh-ho! I got you there.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side.
I can't bear this existential agony. What have you...
not for Crispin, a simpleton's idea of a clever man and a poor man's idea of a rich one.
I've spotted something.
Elven ancestor tree. Even I can't deny the beauty.
An undead elf steps from the shadows. He looks powerful, but when he speaks, he is in pain.
Welcome, Godwoken, to your grave. I promise you decay. I decay. But I shall. He is my friend. He is... Rise, my rotten army. Rise.
I'm ready!
price.
An undead elf steps from the shadows. He looks powerful, but when he speaks, he is in pain.
Welcome, God. I shall. He is. You rot here, Godwoken. We all rot.
to none. Aid!
Lucky find. Yeah.
tree sits lifeless now, bereft of memory, its source gone forever. Dead wood now, it shall fade into the past. The tree sits lifeless now, bereft of memory, its source gone forever. Dead wood now, it shall fade into the past. You recognize the dog from the town square in Driftwood. The wounds from...
Oh, hi! How are you? I'm good. Hey, do you smell that? It smells like the fish place.
The elements have made it impossible to make out the name upon this grave marker.